Hello. In this video, we're going to continue with our web server, Khadim. Um, sorry. I went some mountain climbing for the first time in my life, and I'm really tired, but I was really eager to make this project advance so we can have something that people can use. I don't think anyone gonna use this, but I mean, we can hope. So let's continue. So we have a to-do in here, so adding other HTTP status codes. But I'm not gonna do this because, I mean, oh, come on, why you do this to me? Always I'm using the wrong, I'm moving to the wrong desktop. Okay, so let me search for HTTP status codes and see how many of those we have. I know the most important ones are 200, 201, 204, 204, and I think some 400 and stuff. So, is there a list of how many things are named and everything? Can I have a list of those with their respective message so I can copy paste it? This is maybe good. I'm gonna say these. Okay. So one problem that our code have in here is that it's not simple to create a new status. It is basically impossible because it's an enum. But what we should do is to make this a way that we have some defaults, like the ones we are going to add, but also users can create their own status. So let me create a new type for status. I'm gonna make it a function, status, and it has a code, which is a usize, and also I would say message, which is a string, and this will return a type. This will return a struct. It's like a generic function. It's not completely generic. I don't know if we actually can do this or not. Can we do this? I hope we can do this. Let's try that out. So this is struct. Sorry. So this struct has a function called we need these two basically, right? These two functions because we are using them in our code. Yeah. Or something better. So maybe what we can do, oh, I did something wrong. Okay, so maybe what we can do is so a status is a message and a usize. So if you just make it a struct, and the user just passed those two parameters, so message, which is a string, and a code, which is a usize. If you pass those, I could do this for him. Okay, let's save this. It's not gonna work. I don't know why, because we didn't do this in here. So, okay. as string as number. So where we are using these, I think we are using this in here. Yeah, so we passing this status, which is now struct, and we don't need these actually anymore, because I mean this is really simple. And okay, so I can just say here, I can just say a status dot code, and status dot message. This should work the same way. And in here now, when we remove these, we can add more status to it. But let's do something else as well. That's what I did. I don't know why I did that. So let's do something else. Let's put so we're creating this as a, so let's for start put these in a new, or can this have which returns, let's just call its create itself, and this will return. Basically I'm aliasing, so basically every struct in Zig are anonymous structs. So inside an anonymous struct you have two ways of referring to itself, either using this name, because we are assigning this anonymous struct, but sometimes we don't have a name for that. So for example, in the case of generic structs like these, we don't have a name for this, so we need to refer to this as with self. But in here actually we don't need self, and we probably can just use status, right? So okay, just return status with message, okay, and code 200. Okay, function init. Don't need a constructor. I mean, I want to do a good copy, so we can have multiple of these. Oh, so this one is going to be, for example, not found. This is going to be not found, and the code will be 400. Created. So let me just take a look at these again. 200, okay, 200.01 and 200.01, which is this. Created. Oh, what did I do? Oh, okay. So okay, let me just check my phone and I will come back. Okay, sorry for the disruption. Okay, let me just put this in here, so I have the 200s together, and let's do one of these in here. Was it called accepted for 202? So I would say, oh sorry, I would say accepted. Okay, so 204 is important. No content. No content. No content. Okay, I won't handle 300s for now. Let's just have one or two not found, and maybe that request, which is which is 400. This is 404, and this is 400. I'm gonna do bad request and forbidden for now. Forbidden. For 3. Finally, there's one for 1 as well, unauthorized. 1 authorize the one. And let's remove this. Okay, so our status is much better now. So in our code, instead of this, I'm gonna use OK as a function now, which is better now. And I can also create custom statuses. So this is something we can commit. Actually, just maybe let me check this if everything is working. So let's do. It would probably work. I don't think, yeah. And if it builds, it will work. I don't think that's a big change that we need to test. And also, unit testing, we need to write tests for this. It's important. I actually don't know how to test reader stuff. So that's maybe something that we can do. But so status is better now. Version is not the best thing. I'd say I don't like this enum stuff. I don't think this is how we should do it after I looked at the code. But but version is not that, user is not gonna work with version a lot, so I'm not gonna touch that for now. So let's we need to do two things. First, we are going to need to do well, I hope actually my sound is right. I didn't detach the mic, so it's okay. I hope that I want to do two things. First, this context, I don't like it. It's okay for the internal server to have just one context and pass it around, and this context has everything inside it. It's okay. But from the user perspective, we should have a request and a response. So yeah. So what I think our handlers should look like instead of this, I mean, actually this is how most Golang libraries do, but I don't like it. I think our handler should be like this: a request, which is http.request, and a response, which is http.response, any error, void. So we need to convert that to this. So the simplest form that is also probably least change in our code is to, so where we are calling the handler of the user, it's in server, it's in here, okay, right? So handler is the count time thing. So when we create the context, okay, so what I'm gonna do is I will create two methods. So I will have a new type. We should start thinking about actually making these multiple files. It's getting really nasty in here. Actually, let's just do that now. Why not? So let's do source request. Should we do http/request or just http or server? I'm gonna say request. That's it for now. I don't know. Okay, maybe not this, but this. This is actually a nice thing I have seen in Zig files. Since every file in Zig, actually, is it simple? Is it small? Oh, I don't know. I hope it wasn't too small. Okay, so every file in Zig, when you import it, it's basically a struct, and you can make so you can control that struct, and you can start writing. It's just a struct, right? So you can just write in here. So what our request would have? Our request would have these. What I did? We'll have these. Okay, right? Use of undeclared. Okay, so we need to import some stuff. Oh, sorry, phone is ringing. Okay, sorry. Phone is in my room. Okay, so constant. I'm gonna use. I'm gonna import method from. Okay, you know what? Let's create. Can we do circular loading in Zig? I don't know if it's possible. It's not possible in Golang. Well, let's try that. It's not possible. We should do another file for probably method and version and stuff. So method is, let's import const http is import. It's http.zig. I really like how imports are easy in Zig. I just import a file. It's really amazing. In Rust, I should have read not a short description of how Rust does basically modules, crates, and all those stuff. I really like how Zig does this in a simple way. I also need version. And now I also need standard library. Okay, so my method version headers. Okay, looks like it's working. Run this again. Yes, you can do you can do circular dependencies in Zig, which is nice. Status. Because I'm going to import request in here. This is the circular dependency. It's not right now. Okay, so status, no, not status. So in the context, I have a stream. Okay, so in the context, I have a stream. And from this stream, I get a reader. Okay, so what I need in here is a reader, which is a net.stream.reader. Let's do const import nets, not this, cd.net. So do we have this? Yeah. Cool. So we also have this. So these are just pop. User can just access these. Pop expected function or variable declaration after. Is everything in public in Zig? Shouldn't I define public things? How you do scoping in Zig? Variables. Is there anything for scope? Private. I don't know. Let's hope that these are all publics. I don't know. Can we do this in here? No, which is nice. If it was possible in here, but not in here, it was a bad thing. Okay, so we have this reader as well now in here. Sorry. So we should probably have some parse methods in this module in here, but for now I'm just going to ignore that, and I'm going to add request is import of of request. That's it. Build. Cool. Okay. So let's go in here. let's go. Okay, let's go in here. Ignore, remove this. Create a function request. Create a request from this context. So request method. I always forget I should do this. Self method. Let's do URI. Ouch. Same. Let's do version. Same. Let's do reader. This is not same. So this is self.stream.reader. Is this a... Don't we have this? Self.stream.reader returns a reader. Cool. So basically this is the request object and this is the response object. Response. I do return response. Okay, we don't have any response yet. So, okay. So let's add that. Let's create a response. Source response.zik. Const response equals this. Let's go to source request. Request. Let's hope this works. Oh, I wanted another shortcut, but okay. Where am I? Cool. I don't need this anymore. So a response. A response is basically a set of helper methods. It just needs to the writer. So it's a net.stream.writer. Is that a type? Yes. But other than that, it's just some functions. So public function, I'm just gonna use this function we have in here, respond, which does the actual... Okay, let's have this on the... no, let's just move this in here. And this gets a response. Status, some stuff. Okay. Cool. User undeclared something, so we need the http.status. Okay, cool. So we have the respond. I don't need this anymore. The writer is just self.writer. Okay, so we need the version. Seems that we need a version. Which is http.version. Whatever it is. So it's self.version. Status code, status message, maybe headers. Writer is self.writer. Self.writer. Okay, so we got this response. It's probably working. So in here, let's import that. Context response. I don't want this as well. Response creates a response, but it needs a version, self.version. It also needs a writer, which is self.stream.writer. Debug print request. Is it a public thing? I should move this into request. And probably we need to find a way for this. Well, oh, okay. Well, we need to find a way for this to use the. There's probably some stuff in the STD FMT, I think, to make it nicer and be able to use it with just any kind of printing in Rizig. std.fmt dot. I don't know what's that. I need to learn about that as well. And this is just a request. Well, we have the same stuff accessible. It says I don't have any print. Okay, debug print. std debug print. Cool. Back here, request response init. Okay, our context is a bit is a simpler thing. Okay, so actually I really like to just remove this. I really like to remove this time. I don't like it. So, and our handlers should become a request response. And our okay, so where we are using the context is basically here. So I create the context. So instead of the context, I can just move everything, this init into request, create the init function that returns a request. It can fail. Where is the context? Stream. Instead of stream, I'm gonna okay. A stream is passed. So we're good. We're good. So it's stream.reader. So if we go back in here, I don't like to have any context anymore. So I'm gonna make this request dot init, passing this stream. And you know what? I'm not gonna allow this to have any access to the complete stream. It's just a reader. This is how this should work. Okay. So it says I don't know any stream, which is fine. Okay, why you did this? Do the same thing. Okay, I think it's okay. So in the HTTP, okay, I have this stream. So I'm gonna pass stream.reader and do this. I don't like this. Okay, why I did that? What did I do? What did I do? I did some undo that I didn't want to. Okay, so do request. Let's call this request. Better. Pass in the request. And also a response. So what is the response? Try response. Probably not try. Response.init. So what is the response? Can I see this? Yes. So the response is in this file. Oh, jump to file is working. Nice. And it also have writer and the version. Okay. So let's just create that. I'm gonna say response.version is request.version and .writer is stream.writer. So, and the handler calls that and pass the pointers. I don't even think we need these to be pointers. I'm not sure. Okay, so actually, let's just update the code. Let's say request is http.request. Request. Nah. You know why? Because we are not that smart yet. They should be in the namespace of HTTP probably, but since our main thing is now HTTP, we should just import the types, and we should make the HTTP thing, the HTTP file, just some public constant imports. So basically some imports and putting them into constant and basically public them. That's how we should do it. But for now, let's just make sure that it's working, and then we can, fix these problems. So response, okay, so there's a problem in here, which is okay. It's a request, and the response is response. There's no CTX anymore. It's just request. And there's no, yes, there is response. Let's try. Okay. Expected type HTTP version found HTTP method. Okay. In response, we said version, right? In the request, we said version, method. Okay, let's take a look at the error code again. It's saying that response. Okay. I'm not getting what it's saying. Okay, my request.version, I know that is a version. I know that it's a version. Did I save it? Method is a method version. Oh. The problem with copy paste. Okay, this should work now. Let's do the curl, not the sleep one. We are okay, which is cool. Which means that our changes are okay. This is not the way you should test your software, but we will add test later. So introduces request and response instead of context. Now handlers should take a request and a response that they can write into. Okay, so this is really cool. Actually, since we are doing everything, since we are organizing everything, let's do one other thing. Yeah, let's do one other thing, and that would be to for now, let's just create the server type. Source server.zig. Okay, and in the HTTP, let's get that. Okay, what's wrong with my mouse? I don't know. I'm gonna bring everything. So in here, okay, I don't know any request. I'm here, import everything. Okay, and I also need server, import server.zip. Close this for now. Public function server. Okay, so there's not technically the server. Yeah, the file name should change, but everything else. So in Zeek, there's this convention to make everything capital case if they're returning a type. So if a file is just representing a struct, representing a type, you just need to make it capital case. Like we have with the response and request, they're just structs. But the server should change because it's actually okay, I need to make it small. Okay, So server.server does that. How we can do that? How we can do that? Okay, for now I think it's cool. Dot serve. Okay. So make these publics. Okay, cool. So these are basically also available when you import the HTTP itself. And I would say that we should put these in the yes, in the I'm gonna say the version and the method in the request. Yes, error declaration in here. So we don't need this too. Okay. And put the status at the response in here. Expected after declaration. What declaration I did? Where? Where? Sorry? Here. Oh, okay. Yes, it's a declaration. So in the HTTP, we will... Are they public? If they're public, it's okay now. Yes. So in the main, I need to do http.request. Actually, maybe, since it's an instance of that, request.status.ok should work. You don't? What about now? Yes, request.status.ok. This is... this should be actually in the response. Why it's in the request? Okay, for some weird reason it's doing that. What did we do? Request, import request, response, import response, server, imports server. So I think our LSP is just not functioning right. Then you go to... yes. Okay, let's try running the server again. HTTP has no member called version. Okay, response. I don't need this anymore. It's in the request. Container HTTP has no member called method. Okay, because it's in the same thing, dude. What was the error? Response? Yes. Container response has no member called version. What is that? Oh my god. This response. Use of undeclared request. Const request is http.request. Okay, container HTTP has no method member called status in that. In the HTTP? No. What was that again? Sorry, the response. In here, right? Right, because it's in the request now. Request.status. No, it's not in the request, it's in the response. Okay, it's just beneath you. Cool. It's now working. So now HTTP is much better now. If we go into main, we should now do http.request because it's now better to do this. There's no difference in here, but okay, standard library stuff, my custom stuff. And let's do another commit. We are doing simple stuff today, but these are important for the structure of the project. So make http .zig just public pub const imports. Let's do a git push. Okay, so what's next for us? So in the server, what we wanted to do was this is how you should do this, because if you change the file name or anything, it does not matter till you make your http.zig correct. Okay, so in the server, we wanted to do one other thing. Yes. So now our server just handles pretty much simple stuff, right? And we want to, so we wanted to bring back the predicates we lost in trying to make it async. But I'm gonna make this a short stream because I'm a bit tired today. So next video, so let's actually just create the, you know, basic foundation of that. So let's go into server, probably server. So we have the handlers type in here, right? So what I want is a something called a predicate handler, which is a struct. Should this also be a generic type? I think yes. So public function predicate handler, creating a generic type in Zig. Really fun. So let's create a count time handler, which is a handler. No. Yes, handler. And this should return a type. Return a type. Return a certain struct. And this struct has a handler, or a handler, which is handler. Oh, handler is itself is a function type, right? Yes. Okay, cool. Okay, so a handler, and also a public function which says that a public function that says with route, and maybe some other things as well. You know what? Let's make a simple router and make it work, and then we can go for the more complex stuff. So let's make this a route handler. So this will do is this will return a type that has a route parameter, which is a string for now. Okay, so in the main, and okay, so let's go into server. Okay, so in the main, what I can do is I say route handler, and public function make router, which we will pass a comp time known value of n, which is also a comp time. Can we do all of this stuff? I don't know. of route handlers. How we should do this? So I want to have route handlers. Route handlers return a struct. Okay. Oh, I'm actually a bit I'm not gonna say. Yeah, no. Let's just create this. So we have this route handler. Or actually, if we take pages from other libraries, how they are handling this. So let's see how what we want as an API. So I want to create a handler as simple as just call http.makeRouter, and then pass a list of route handlers. And for each one, I can say route handler, say, for example, let's make this basic or index, for example. And index handler dot route is something. Okay, and dot route is, for example, slash, and then having another one, for example, for about handler or slash about. I want this simple. So actually, let's copy this, paste this, make this about handler, and I don't want to sleep anymore. I just wanted to prove that it is async about, and for this it's index. Okay, so we have two. So actually, what I want to do is remove this in here and say router.zig, routes.zig. Routes.zig. Okay. So I'm gonna need the standard library, of course. I'm gonna need the HTTP module I have. So I'm gonna have. Okay, so let's try with this, but I'm not sure that it's gonna work. So let's make this route handler just a normal struct, right? Just let's make this a struct with two a dot handler. Okay. Okay, if I can type, it's really good. Handler, which is an http.server. Not http.server. What was that handler thing? It's in the http server dot handler, I think. Right? Okay, where's the handler thing? Okay, why you opened in here? It opens instead of the quick fix list. The handler is okay, I found out why. What is the problem? We need to manually import that, or we can fix the HTTP. Okay, so also a public constant called server import server.zig. And this would just now be server. Let's go back into our routes. So route handler http.server dot handler nice route constant q8. Let's see if this works. This is a simple one. Does not even need that. Simpler than that. Okay. So route handler, instead of this, I just do handler equals this, and this equals this. Handler equals about handler. Route is about. Okay, this is what I want. This is what I want. Okay. So now let's add a public function make router, which takes slice comp time. Can I say a comp time n of route handlers, and I say this handlers. This also should be a comp time. How do I do this? And I need to return a HTTP server handler. Okay, so what I should do. Okay, so what I should do, so each handler is a function. Okay, so how should I return a function? How should I return a function? The only way I know is just structs. So this shouldn't return a this should return a type. So return a struct. I have this function in this struct that creates the HTTP server handler but this is okay actually. Yeah. And this should, what it should do is it should do for handlers. Handler. Let's just call these route handlers and route handler. For each route handler, dot route. For now, let's put a stupidest form possible. So this will create a handler. Okay. How we should create a function in Zig? It's really hard to create a function in Zig. Why we cannot pass value? I don't know how we should do this. So this struct should have a handler. Okay, so I can do this. So our handlers take the request, http.request, have a response. Okay, std.mem.equal. I want to compare a few 8s, route, and the request.uri. If it matched, I'm gonna just say return route, route handler.request and response, and get done with it. This should be any error and void. Okay. For what is the problem? It says expected something after the... what's wrong with you? Said expected expression... Oh. Okay, okay, okay. So this is the simplest form. If we arrive in here, I would say response.respond passing the status, which is request dot. It was in the response itself. Dot. Where did we put status anyway? Where is our status? It's in response, right? Constant status. Okay, maybe http dot response dot status, right? Dot not found. I'm gonna return a not found and a nothing for headers. Somebody, I'll just say an empty body, or let's just say not found, like this. Let's go into main. Let's just save. There's this file called routes. Okay, so constant route equals import of routes.zig. There is no route handler. Okay, I know that. It's in the routes. It's in the routes. It's simpler to just do this route handler. Routes.route handler. Same goes for make router. Make router. Route handler. Unused function parameter? Really? Which one? Oh, okay, this one. I'm not using these. Okay. Okay, let's see if this works. So handler. Now I say handler. Handler. Container HTTP has no member called make router. And that's right. Who says container HTTP? Yes, it's in here. Okay, array literal requires address of operator to coerce to a slice type. So should I do this? Expected type slice found constant pointer to a something. Okay, so can I do comp time of this? I want to somehow tell Zig that I know this is a compile time known thing. It says that I expect a slice of this, found a constant pointer to this. I want this to be compile time. I don't know how should I say it to this, but unable to infer array size. How should I say this? How about comp time n? Redundant compile time keyword in already compiled time scope. Okay. I want this array to be so the len is known at the compile time. Is there anything in here for arrays? Arrays. Is there any compile time thing I can do? Compile time code to initializer, compile time array initialization. Compile time array break. There's a size and 7 minute length is there's an issue which was closed. And yes, they accepted it and added 2 milestone. You know what? Let's just do this that we were doing. So how we should change this? It says it's a constant. I don't know what's wrong. It says that I need this to be a constant. What if I don't do this? Okay, the same thing. This is actually cool because if not, let's just do this. Var routes handlers. Unused local variable, no, because routes handlers. Expected type. Okay, why is this a constant? I don't want this to be a constant pointer. Oh, okay. Maybe this and then this will help. Runtime value cannot be passed to a runtime arc. Okay. So it needs to be the comp time. No other way. This should be a constant as well. What about now? Oh my god. Why it keeps doing this? Constant pointer to a this. Okay, you know what? Let's just do that. Can we do this? You cannot invert the size. Okay. These should all be comp time because when we want to pass this in here, this should be also a comp time value. I don't know. Let's see. There is something going on here. And let me answer something. Oh, okay. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay. Not found. Let me just do one thing. Okay. So I need to know a len of the array in the compiler. So somehow I should tell it to let me have that in the compile time. Huh? How we can do that? You know what? Maybe Ziegler has something for us. Arrays. Where are the arrays? Oh. Slices. When the NM slicing for this pointer to and something for RSTR array. So it's a constant pointer to something. I want this type, but instead of slice, I mean, you know the value, right? You just know this. How it's that? How it is? Why you cannot infer this? I mean, I'm saying that I'm passing a comp time. Please infer this. How we can do this? we need this router to be, we need this make router to be a compile time thing, because if not, we cannot make this handler in here. Okay, you know, my brain is starting to malfunction, so maybe it's better that we continue in the next stream, in the next video. I'm not streaming these yet. I'm trying to make my environment a bit better for streaming. Okay, so if you like this content, if you want me to follow these kind of projects and these kind of videos, please like this video, please subscribe, and if you have any questions, comment, GitHub issue, normal ways to communicate. Thank you very much, and we will continue this problem, fixing this problem in the next video. I'm just gonna push this as a work in progress, so if you want, you can work on this. Thank you and goodbye.